Hello, my friend. Welcome. We're talking about the Virgo new moon that's happening just a handful of hours from now. This is a very electric, edgy, unexpected, powerful new moon. And we're going to talk about how it's going to impact you, what to expect, and most importantly, the way it ties into the bigger shift and transformation that's up in the world today, right now. So, this new moon happens at 0 degrees of Virgo. So first thing, if you know your natal chart, you're going to want to look at the house that is ruled by Virgo. This is going to tell you the area of life that is most up for impact in this lunar cycle. By the way, we're kicking off eclipse season in September, so there's a lot of very strong and powerful change that is starting now. So this new moon, 0 degrees Virgo, and it's in a square with Uranus. Uranus is the great awakener and destabilizer. It shakes things up and wakes things up by waking you up to higher consciousness, but often in a way that is sudden, unexpected. Pivots and shifts and changes of plans tend to happen when Uranus is in the mix. And this new moon is in the square to Uranus. So there might be shifts that seem to come out of the blue that you're not expecting. The key in Uranus energy always is flexibility, is not staying locked to what your mind thinks it should be. Be open to the change and the shift that wants to happen over these next couple days for you, especially if that's related internally to emotions, because we're talking about the moon and the emotional body here. So if you feel a bit knocked off balance or something happens that seems to like, whoa, where did that come from? Let yourself ground into the breath, into your body. You can take a moment right now with me if you like, and just let your seat land in your seat and know that whatever shifts happen, they're here to wake you up to your higher consciousness. You can lean into the energy that comes, knowing it's not bad, not wrong, and let yourself breathe and let yourself land. And know that this new moon, again, has some very powerful ways that it is tied into collective transformation. So let's talk about that. There is a pattern going on with this new moon that is called a finger of God. And it's made up of two angles called inconjuncts. And basically, these two inconjuncts represent like maybe a fork in the road or a way you could take a slightly different path to create a different change. It's not like a square where something is really a big obstacle and forces you to do something different, more like a nudge into something new. So, as I'm describing the two different energy patterns I'm about to describe, because we have two inconjuncts which create this formation called a finger of God. As I'm describing what these energies are about, listen and feel for yourself where you might be being nudged into something just a little bit new that you weren't quite ready for before, but now you're ready to step into it. Okay. So the first inconjunct is between this new moon in the sign of Virgo. And Virgo is all about service. It's all also about the physical body and health. And Virgo holds like standards of excellence. Virgo is about doing things well and doing things with care and being of service in the world. So you might think about how you're being of service in the world right now, what your role is, what the part is that you're playing in this amazing and crazy time that we are alive in. And specifically, this new moon, first of all, is in conjuncting Pluto in Aquarius. If you've been in my world, you've heard me talk about this, you've heard other people talk about this, no doubt. Pluto brings total transformation. And in Aquarius, which he moved into recently and will hang out for years now, there is a breakdown in Aquarius represents, first of all, the people, the world. And Aquarius represents the collective and the creation of a world that works for everyone. And Pluto moving into Aquarius is all about a breakdown of the structures that don't work, a breakdown of the structures that have um, have kept the world from working for so many, that have kept things out of balance, have kept things unjust. Pluto is breaking down and transforming old structures, and often it doesn't look like that's what's happening, especially when things are kind of right on the precipice of change. Things often seem to get darker and crazier before they get better, which is where we are right now. I have no doubt in the world. But back to this new moon, there is like an relationship happening between this new lunar cycle, this new moment of energy in Virgo in the sign of service, and the deep transformation that's happening represented by Pluto and Aquarius. So the first thing I'm going to invite you to think about is simply how you are showing up in service to the world. And that can mean a lot of things. It could mean your work, your career, your business, what you're up to on a broad scale. It can also mean the way you are showing up for your neighbor and your family and the person who you're supporting and loving and caring for, and showing up for yourself and taking care of you. How are you serving? How are you caring in the most right ways? And how does that feed into the collective change that we're in? Remember, this doesn't necessarily mean doing more or working harder. It means, what's your role right now? Virgo's about rightness. It's not about trying to do more. It's about refinement and nuance. And what's the role that you're here to play? So I'm going to invite you to tune in and notice where you're caring for yourself, where you're caring for others, where you're in service to the world. And is there a way that you are invited to step just easily into the next level of alignment of what that looks like? Maybe it means clearer boundaries. That's a Virgo construct as well. Maybe it means a deeper level of self-care. Maybe it means a next step in the way you're showing up and serving. Take a second, notice, what does that mean for you? What does that look like? If you want to share with me in the comments, please, please do. So that's the first inconjunct, is this new moon is nudging at Pluto and Aquarius and saying, hey, how are you serving a little bit differently, a little more in alignment, which again might mean doing more, but also might mean reeling it in a way that is right for you, that's more refined. The second inconjunct that's happening is from this new moon to a conjunction of Neptune and Saturn in Aries. Let's break down what that means. Neptune represents your spiritual connection, your connection to source, to your power, to who you are, to the energy of all that is, your creative power. And Saturn represents discipline and lessons and doing the work and putting in the work. There's a theme here of like doing the work rightly. Can you hear and feel that? Again, it's not about pushing harder, but about refinement. So Saturn and Neptune conjunct is about a meeting of your spiritual connection with the way you actually show up and chop wood, carry water, and do what you're doing and build what you're building. It's also about karmic lessons and deep life paths that you are learning. So there's a weightiness to Saturn. There's a depth and a gravitas to it. And conjunct with Neptune, there is a power of meeting your spiritual connection that's here. Now, Saturn and Neptune conjunct is a long-term transit. This is something we're in for a long stretch of months now. And it's supporting us. It's supporting us in doing the work, in connecting deeper. But this new moon is specifically activating this Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries. So if we're holding all these pieces, we've got your spiritual connection, we've got the call to show up diligently and do the work, And it's happening in the sign of Aries, which is a sign, an energy of fire, of action, of show up and do it. There's a way that your spiritual connection is being activated and you're asked to show up in the world in a stronger, bolder, more clear way. And again, all that is being activated by this new moon. So to back up and sum this up, we've got the new moon in Virgo, service, the body, physical health. Remember, that's all tied in. Every time I'm talking about service, I want you to also think about how you're caring for your physical vessel here in the world, and everything you do flows out of that. So there might be, this is where you feel for what's right for you and how this new moon wants to speak to you. There might be a reset with this new moon of physical care, of wellness habits, of what your body and your health needs. Flowing out of that, how are you naturally asked to show up? Not even asked to, how are you like spontaneously wanting to show up and serve based on an aligned caring for yourself, landing in your physical center and truth? So we've got all that happening in the Virgo new moon, and it is directly sparking, directly relating to the transformation in the world on a major scale that is happening, even when it feels like everything is breaking down, because it is, but it's a breakdown for a new breakthrough. And at the same time, we have this new moon inviting you into a new and deeper connection of your spiritual path, joined with the very practical, physical you showing up in the world. All that has the electric energy of Uranus activating it, which means whatever is up for you here might be sparked by sudden, unexpected events. Don't stress if something happens that seems to destabilize a little bit internally or emotionally or externally. Let yourself ride with that and let yourself take from that, how am I being asked to show up differently while caring for myself, for my health, for my physical well-being, while loving myself more deeply? How am I asked to show up in this time and transform? Let me know if you'd like in the comments what this is sparking for you. Please like and subscribe if this has been helpful. We will be talking about the eclipse season coming up. Can't wait to get into that with you. And I'm sending you lots of love on this beautiful Virgo new moon. Have a beautiful night, day, wherever you are seeing this. Take good care.